The riffs are too repetitive, the lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides and the cover art's a mess. Boy, we sure have so much here to tear apart with Garrett and his little buddy Tim.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Why I Hate This Album. I am one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey. With me, as always, biggity to my bitch boy, co-host extraordinaire, Timothy Richardson, back from Sweden. Tim, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, Garrett, I am doing pretty good. I was really busy this week. I read Tom's Instagram post, and I am confused and horrified to say it was pretty accurate.
Wait, Tom's been posting to Instagram?
Yeah, I let him take over because I was in Sweden. Garrett, I did in fact go to Gothenburg, Sweden. I did go to investigate Ulf Ekberg and his past dalliances. I did take some things from what Tom described as your secret under the carpet closet. I did attempt to man on fire those people. It turns out the Swedish are lovely people who largely don't deserve what I and an army of interns attempted to do to them and in a couple of cases successfully accomplished. I found out I am a terrible investigator. I learned absolutely nothing. I guess I just turned it into a vacation, Garrett. I ate some stinky fish. I ate some pretty great cinnamon rolls in the Haga district. Haga probably is how it's pronounced. I lost two of the interns in the water around Dunzo. Kurt and James, their contributions to the cause are appreciated, and the sight of them silently slipping below the water will be with me for some time.
Yeah, I mean, honestly though, had they died in service on land, we bury all our interns at sea, so just skipped a step.
True. We go the Bin Laden route.
Yeah, every time.
Each one of them wrapped up with a Quran. Most of them have also been canoed. I apologize to your families.
Oh my God.
Don't Google what is canoeing a man. Jesus Christ.
Damn it, Tim. How do you manage to put a cherry on top of something so horrific? And it's easily way worse than everything we were saying. Why are you talking about canoeing a man?
I don't know. I don't know.
God. Okay. This is already going to be a lengthy one, so I want to pick and choose what I ask about here. One, Tim, were you able to ascertain any new facts about the band Ace of Base?
None whatsoever. Swedish people speak English very well until you mention the word Ulf or Nazi, in which case they begin speaking Swedish and
angrily.
Yes.
Okay. A scale of 1 to 10, how do you rate the trip?
Great, say 9.
Glad you followed up with a number. Was really worried I was going to have to point out that great is neither between 1 or 10.
Fair enough. I am stupid.
Scale of 1 to 10, B+. Great. Okay, Chris Gale.
B and 1/2 plus, Garrett. B and 1/2 plus.
Yeah, folks, we still haven't seen it. We know there's a teacher out there willing to go the distance. B and 1/2 plus. We want to see it. Yeah, there's no reason you can't. If I got an A and 1/2 plus, which is equally as funny as a grade as a child, I'd be thrilled. So just, make two idiots' day, give them an A and 1/2 plus, and confuse a small child. Alrighty, Tim, that's enough catching up. Let's get down to business. What album have we been listening to for an entire week plus straight?
We have been listening to No Doubt's semi-popular 1995 album Tragic Kingdom. This was suggested by a lot of people whose names I don't have on me at the moment. That was Kurt's responsibility, and he's in the sea. I do want to thank Evan Grimes, however, who provided the ska version of the intro theme song we probably used this week, unless we forgot, in which case, thanks for nothing, Evan.
Real letdown, Evan. And Tim, after an entire week with No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom, I am very curious. Do you hate this album?
No, I don't.
Oh, what a gentleman.
Yeah, there are some, shall we say, structural issues with this album. There's some material on it I do not much care for, but on the whole, no, this doesn't quite cross into a hate. What about you, friend? Do you hate No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom?
I don't want to be the bearer of bad news here, but I'm going to have to go with no as well. Yeah, I know. Unfortunately, Tim, I'm kind of right there with you. It doesn't shock me. This is, on a whole, not a bad album. Let me revise that. This is not worthy of hate yet. Yeah, I think that's probably where I want to be for now.
This is not a good album. We are not endorsing this album at this point.
Fair. But couple of the songs, pretty good.
Yeah, oh sure, there's some bangers. There's some fire on this thing.
We're definitely not saying fire anymore. You agreed when you got back. I pay for Sweden, no matter how many interns you want to bring and how absolutely insane the mission is, but you cannot keep saying fire. Okay, it's clear you're going to keep saying fire, so let's just move on. Tim, prior to this week, what is your history with this album? Had you heard it before? Obviously, you knew of the band, no doubt.
Sure. Yeah, I never owned this album. A lot of my friends in the House of Saud definitely did. I remember the hits really well. Just a Girl and Spiderwebs mostly. Don't Speak, obviously, from 6th to 8th grade dances. Garrett, I was alternating between being a sad boy and a creep in middle school, hanging out in the gym, sneaking out to smoke cigarettes and getting locked out and having to try and hide in the bushes by the door and blend into the crowd of people leaving and going to their parents' cars at the end of the night so my mom wouldn't ask why I was clearly not in the dance and also reeked of smoke. Hands down, best days of my life to the current day. The point is, Garrett, this week, now I was in Europe so it was tolerable, but I started smoking again to truly get into the correct mindset to listen to this album.
Oh, no.
Gotta say, don't really care for it. It is gross.
The album or the smoking?
The smoking. I am addicted to smoking again, but I hate
Sure,
it.
but you hate it.
Right.
That's what I like to hear.
Right. Garrett, did you also start smoking this week?
No, luckily I did not. However, I did wake up in a pair of Jinkos with a chain wallet midweek, and that was alarming. I can only assume it had something to do with Tragic Kingdom and or Tom B. Rady. The guy is
He does
getting way
change
out of
people's
line.
pants while they sleep. He really, it's not even changing people's pants. He switches people's pants. So, you'll fall asleep next to an intern and the intern's wearing skinny jeans. You're wearing your Jinkos and you wake up, you're in those skinny jeans. He's in those Jinkos. Tom's giggling in the corner, palming a football.
Like a massive weirdo. Yeah, no, I don't know what's been going on while you were away, but small bits of 1995 have been slowly peppering their way into the apartment here in the Big Apple, and it's freaking me out. So aside from this week, Tim, obviously I had heard the hits, but no, I had never heard most of this album before. Certainly didn't own it. Didn't even have it sent to me free from Columbia Music House. I had no interest in it. It aside from maybe Don't Speak, I'm not a big No Doubt head. Like I don't even really like Spiderwebs.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Who does? So Tim's got some history. I've got a little less. That's not surprising. Before we can talk about the album itself, though, it is important that we all start from a point of understanding. So it is typical here, if not customary, for me to ask Tim, take us on a journey, help us understand who is No Doubt and how did this album, Tragic Kingdom, come to be?
Well, Garrett, the sort of hero of this story, Gwendolyn Renee Stefani, was born in 1969 in Fullerton, California, raised super Catholic. She was named after the novel Airport and a song by the Four Tops. Her brother, Eric Madagascar Stefani, was born 2 years earlier. He was named after Eric the Red and presumably the country of Madagascar. Don't know.
His middle name is Madagascar?
Maybe. I did not check. The kids were subjected to a lot of folk music by their parents. They went to high school in Anaheim. She went to Fullerton College and then Cal State Fullerton. At some point in here, they worked at a Dairy Queen and met a guy named John Spence. Eric and John became fast friends. They were into two-tone and reggae, and they decided to start a ska band. They invited Gwendolyn to do some backing vocals, although she secretly thought I should probably be the lead vocalist.
Yeah, what if I just took over the whole band?
The early lineup included a couple of trumpeters, Eric on keys, Gwen on backing vocals, John on lead vocals, and then some other people you've never heard of filling out the less important parts, bass, guitar, drums, etc. They acquired a tromboner and a saxophonist, and Tony Kanal, important guy here, as their new bassist. Gwen began aggressively pursuing Tony, but they kept their relationship a secret for at least a year. They started performing at Orange High School graduation parties and other kind of local things in 1987, and then they got a gig playing the Roxy Theater for some record company executives. Garrett, this is exciting. It's all going strong. Off to a great start.
Seems like it.
A few days before that Roxy gig, John Spence killed himself.
Oh.
So that's an issue. Alan Mead took over his vocals, but afraid that he too would fall victim to suicide, he just quit and let Gwendolyn take over as lead vocalist to avoid any further bloodshed.
Jesus. I gotta imagine that second guy didn't quit for fear of suicide. I'm gonna assume that's you making some assumptions, but still interesting.
I would quit. Jesus.
Just killed the last guy. I'm not doing this job.
Yeah, well, something killed him. There were some more early lineup changes, but they started playing some colleges, the Roxy, the Whiskey, etc. They played with Why I Hate This Album alumni Red Hot Chili Peppers. Tony Ferguson then signed them to Interscope in 1990. As the internet puts it, he was impressed by fan stage diving, Gwen's performance, and an intense intense fear for his own life, allegedly.
I don't really see a No Doubt concert being like that raucous of an affair.
Oh, this is back in the day when they were more of a punk band, I think.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah. They released an eponymous debut album in 1992. 1992. That didn't do particularly well. At the time, it only sold about 30,000 copies. They were going on a national tour to support that album, but Interscope was pretty pissed at how poorly it sold, so they didn't support that tour at all. In fact, the band went to a series of cities, and they found that their record wasn't even available for sale anywhere in that city. So,
That might explain some of it.
yeah. Around that time, Eric started to realize that this band was going nowhere. So he started to sort of withdraw from the band. Part of that was because Interscope kind of hated all their follow-up material and rejected a bunch of it. So they paired them with producer Matthew Wild, future producer of Christina Aguilera, Kelly Clarkson, and Academy Award nominee for writing the music for Mulan. But this all kind of didn't sit well with Eric, who was kind of thought of himself as sort of the leader of the band, I think. And so he just sort of started not showing up, essentially. He was also going to California Institute of the Arts at this point.
Maybe you wanted to be an animator.
Maybe. At some point in the mid-90s, probably 94, 95, Tony Kanal broke up with Gwendolyn. He said he needed some space, but and offered to quit the band, but was convinced to stay in the band. More on that from the general thoughts through the end of the last goddamn song on this album.
Yeah, I was going to say, we know the breakup had to be at least in 94 because most of this album doesn't exist without the breakup at Tony Kanal's behest.
Right, and also the awkward situation of Tony Kanal and still being in this band.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about these songs with him in the band. He's right there,
Right.
Tim.
Yes. No, he's playing it. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Jesus
we don't want to get ahead. But
Christ, it's
you want to hear
awkward.
something really strange. So in preparing for this week, I read Tony Kanal 1,000 times, and the listeners are going to understand in just a few minutes why he keeps coming up. And then one day, literally 5-6 days into this exercise, I get to Tony Kanal, and do you know what I say instead?
Canal?
Tony Kanal.
Canal.
Like anal with a K.
Yes, like anal with a K.
I don't know why, and that just made my day.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Eric then left the band entirely to become an animator for The Simpsons and later Ren and Stimpy.
Wait, really?
Oh, yeah. I thought
I
you
was
were doing a
joking just
thing.
because that's where all the Disney dudes go.
Yeah.
Wow, neat. Okay. Anyway.
He would notably animate the band, no doubt, into the background of a Simpsons episode, Homer Palooza. I think that's where he gets shot in the stomach with a cannonball.
Yeah.
No Doubt was then forcibly moved to Trauma Records by Interscope. They released Beacon Street Collection in 95. That was B-sides and outtakes from the self-titled album, and it outsold the self-titled album. And then they released Tragic Kingdom in 1995. Again, most of the songs are at least tangentially about the Gwendolyn-Tony breakup. Now, I won't say how well that did yet, but it did well enough that there was an immediate fight over this band between Interscope and Trauma that resulted in an $100 million lawsuit, with Trauma Records suing Interscope for fraud, breach of contract, extortion, and reneging on the contract they signed after No Doubt was, more successful than they thought. They settled out of court for $3 million.
That's considerably less.
Yes. The band toured on that album until 1997. So they toured for more than 24 months on that. Whoa. So that means, Garrett, that not only did Tony and Gwen make this album together, they also then spent the next 24 months in a goddamn tour bus together.
Yeah, imagine trying to avoid your ex, who is... Now, when I say right there, folks, I don't mean right there in the sense of they're on the other side of the classroom. I mean they are inches from your face in a car.
Right. You're still attempting to poop quietly in the back of an RV, essentially.
Oh, I never really thought about that. There's probably no pooping on the tour bus.
No? There definitely is, Garrett. Do you remember the Dave Matthews incident?
Oh, there's so much pooping on that tour bus.
Yeah, exclusively. Anyway, that album got a bunch of Grammy nominations. Their first album finally started to sell well, and they released Live in the Tragic Kingdom. They recorded with Elvis Costello for the Rugrats movie, As You Do. They did a song for the Clash tribute album. Gwendolyn started dating noted dipshit Gavin Rossdale of Bush fame at some point in here. 3 more times, then let's move on. Mouth. Okay, no more. Their next album, 2000's Return to Saturn, was more focused on Gwendolyn's relationship with Gavin Rossdale. Don't do it. Don't do it. And that must have made Tony Kanal, who is still in this band, really sad.
Mere feet away.
Yes. I assume that he woke up a number of times in his bunk on their tour bus and they're just fucking on top of him.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Or next to them, or he's just listening while he hears him say, use your mouth.
Okay, come on. That was snuck in. That was...
You're welcome.
God damn it. So they continued to do more one-off songs for movies. Gwendolyn collaboed with Moby. They released Rocksteady in 2001. Now, that album was recorded primarily in Jamaica, so you know it's not offensive at all.
Oof.
Yeah. In 2002, the band was in one of the greatest shows of all time, Dawson's Creek, and then they did the 2003 Super Bowl halftime show. They released a greatest hits album in 2003, toured with Blink-182, and then they went on hiatus for Gwendolyn to do her first solo album, Lobster Asshole Martini Baby. See our previous and now classic episode on that. I think it's episode 17. It's real old.
Jesus.
Yeah. Around that time, she also began enslaving the Japanese in a manner public and brazen enough to make Rivers Cuomo jealous. She released the follow-up.
It's super hard.
Yeah. Women are... You done? Mm-hmm. She released the follow-up to that, The Sweet Escape, in 2006, which included the Robert Christgau approved song Yummy, and then No Doubt began working on most of a new album without her, which became Push and Shove and wasn't released until 2012 when she was back with the band, and No Doubt has since been on hiatus since about 2015-ish. Gwendolyn, on the other hand, has continued her solo career. She joined The Voice as a vocal coach. She produced an animated series about her and the Harajuku Girls in 2014. She released This Is What the Truth Feels Like in 2016, You Make It Feel Like Christmas in 2017. She was diagnosed with dyslexia in 2020. She married Why I Hate This Album alumnus Blake Shelton in 2021. So she has been staying very busy. Unclear what Tony Kanal is up to. La Face.
Diagnosed with dyslexia. Chalabif.
I mean, it could be the reason. I tried to look up some anagrams for Blake Shelton to see if maybe it was like a much more aesthetically pleasing name. I could find nothing. I think she's just into bloated bad country musicians.
Tip it back.
Is that him? God damn it. Who knows?
Oh, who could say? Listeners, write in, hatePodMail@gmail.com. Who likes to, quote unquote, tip it back?
Oh, well,
I know he likes the red solo cup.
No, that's Toby Keith. Unclear.
No, fuck you. The other guy likes the solo cup too. Because there
Everyone
were a
likes
whole
him.
bunch of instances of him falling over in public.
Oh, yeah, no, he's a horrible alcoholic who is constantly publicly drunk, allegedly, and it's unclear exactly who I'm speaking of, so no one can sue.
Yeah, perfect. All right.
Talking
Great.
about Garrett.
Oh, wait, what?
Nah, Garrett's not allowed to drink anymore.
That's right. We won't say why. That's more fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
It involved at least one hammer.
It didn't involve none. That's for fucking sure. Anyway, great history, Tim. Hammer anecdotes aside, hammockdotes as they'll for now be known, let's get into the album itself. I believe I can accurately say that these songs for me range from, hey, that's pretty good, to why does this even exist, let alone on this album?
Yeah, there's a wide spectrum of quality here, and there's a wide spectrum of styles ranging from ska to kind of a punk to something that I'm not going to spoil yet, but is so goddamn bizarre that I could not believe that it was happening.
Interesting. I wonder if we're thinking of the same thing. We'll see. Yeah, well said. There's a whole bunch of weird stuff on here. A lot of it, or let me say this, more of it fell into the category of pop punk than I was expecting.
See, I remember this being way more kind of pop punk and ska punk and way less ska reggae. This is way more reggae, at least reggae beat. I mean, it's surprising they did not do more Jamaican accents on this thing, given
Ooh, yeah.
what the music sounds like.
Yeah, there's also way more like generic blues than I was expecting.
Yeah.
At least two or three songs, which I was expecting none. I thought this was going to be a ska album with light hints of punk. That's not what this is.
Yeah, see, I was thinking it was going to be a mostly punk album, and that's also not what this is.
Hell no. It's really neither. It's the worst of both worlds. Nobody gets what they want, which is what we always like here on the show.
Absolutely. Now,
Let's talk about her singing.
Oh, yes. In. No,
Sometimes
sorry,
it works.
sorry. Hold on. And by that I mean, of course, I'm in for talking about it, not into this voice.
Yeah, super out on the voice, in fact.
Yes.
Yeah. Sometimes it works.
Yeah.
Other times it doesn't.
I mean, the only time for me that it really works is in Just a Girl, because the
irony.
Right. Yes. Okay. Because it makes it feel like she's doing a thing that I don't actually think she's doing. I think it just comes across that way because this is her voice. And to me, she sounds like she's doing like the voice Jenny Slate does on Parks and Recreation, the money please thing.
Money please.
Yes. The other thing that I think, because I know a lot of people like this voice or like her voice, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad voice, but to me, it's the oral equivalent of daddy play. Like, if you're going to engage in daddy play, this is the voice you're using, and it kind of grosses me out.
Yeah, it's a baby doll voice.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Have we ever talked about the use of the word little?
No, and I don't think we should.
Oh, but we're right there. It's on the door. Let's just open it, Tim. I stumbled onto this. How disgusting.
Yeah.
How disgusting. Daddy play, for some, and I think it might be exclusive only to perverts and weirdos, they'll refer to the lady who's as their little. If you know someone who's doing this, report them. If you're doing this, write in hatePodMail@gmail.com. We will not publicly mock you, but I need you to explain this to me.
Yes, explain yourself. Justify this.
Make me not distrust you.
Well, that's never going to happen. Now,
shut up.
It's okay. We need to talk about the Tony Kanal of it all, because obviously
I feel bad now.
Yeah, right. I never thought of it, and now I'm never going to not think of it. The breakup obviously looms over this whole thing. It's unclear why he stayed in the band. I don't know if maybe she made him stay as some sort of weird punishment. It's possible that he's really stupid and just didn't realize that all these songs were about him. Like, it's possible he's just a moron.
That's very true. I think it is, well, we know, and this is important, we know he broke up with her.
Right.
And so I suspect, feeling bad, he was like, I'll do whatever you want. You want me to leave the band? I'll leave the band. She was like, no, I don't want you to leave the band. I don't want to lose my boyfriend and the band. So that's probably how he ends up there, not realizing like you need to be the adult in the situation and fucking walk away.
Sure. I mean, I think this album would have been slightly better if they had given each of them a side of the record.
Yes.
But here's the thing, because I looked this up. Tony has writing credits on 8 out of 14 of these songs, including the one that calls him a parasite. Here's my theory. I think that this band was circling the drain, that they were unable to write anything. The record company was rejecting everything they were doing, and Tony is a goddamn hero. He said, I know how we can have material. He orchestrated this breakup to give the band something to write about. Now, this is his sacrifice, because if she doesn't truly believe it, she won't be able to write these songs, because she won't truly be feeling it.
All in.
He has to go through it. He sacrificed the love of his life for her success.
And let's pause there for a minute, because you've got a great thing going here. But I just want to say the love of his life, like not just the love of his life, a 28-year-old Gwen Stefani, which, to each their own. For Garrett, that's a pretty top-notch lady.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's the thing. Not only that, but also potentially...
Look at Tony Kanal.
Did you say he was going to make her a canal?
No, I said look at Tony Kanal.
Yeah, well, no,
I can't get to do better.
I'm going to say this. I disagree completely. That is one sexy Indian man. And I think he should have, were I him, I would have made her a canal. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Anyway, sorry. He gave up the love of his life. Tim, this is amazing. He sacrificed it all. He's Iron Man. He saved their whole world.
And here's the thing. He was so selfless that he did a thing that could have very easily gotten him kicked out of this band, so it would have only been her success. He might not have gotten any benefit from this at all, and he still did it. That's how much he loves her.
Selfless human being. Hey, Kanal, why are you always crying?
Because he's the best man that's ever lived.
Wow. Really turned me around on Kanal.
We wouldn't have a lobster asshole martini baby if not for this. She would have faded into obscurity. She would be...
And had we not had that episode, we wouldn't have this episode, because Tim and I were ready to throw in the towel. That episode, something changed. This show changed.
We
figured it out.
1 year before this album came out, she was doing guest vocals on a fucking Sublime song. Yeah, she could be some sort of Sublime trash lady.
Yeah.
I think that Blake Shelton should have let Tony have her on their their wedding night.
Like just once or like
Just as a thank you for bringing us all this.
You're sure, but I mean like permanently or just that evening?
Just that evening. You know how you always, when our interns get married, you always declare prima nocta?
Absolutely.
And you go through with it? It's not a joke at all?
No, that's part of the joke.
Oh, sure, yes. It's only funny if you do it, yeah.
But to be clear, it's always consensual.
Well, sure, Garrett. Have you seen our interns?
Yeah.
Well, except for that,
attractive.
One. Right, except for that one. You're much more handsome than any of them.
That's true.
Except for that one.
Although he's always given himself a stupid haircut.
That's true.
So that helps.
That's true. Now,
we're
the
way
other
far
thing
afield.
for general thoughts here, when you were in high school applying to college and you have to write high school essays, right?
Yes.
There's always a good guidance counselor that will sit people down and say, do not write about how the adversity you have overcome was a high school breakup because you're 17 and nobody gives a shit. I think that same thing should apply here. Yeah. That is the theme. This is an hour-length ska album that is a high school breakup.
Yeah, and it gets grating.
Yes, it sure does.
Okay, I think we've hit it from just about every angle. Yeah, anyway, all right, let's get into it, Tim. We got 14 tracks to get through. Luckily, 8 of them are pretty silly.
Yeah.
Alrighty, track number 1, Spiderwebs.
This just really starts in with the reggae and the ska, and I want to say this update on a cool island jam is simply not welcome in this household.
Which is funny, because we openly celebrate yacht rock, but a smooth island jam can go fuck itself.
Absolutely. Now, this was written by Miss Stefani and Mr. Canel, and it's about a man who had been calling Gwen at all hours to recite bad poetry to her, seemingly unaware of the fact that these constant calls bothered her. Now, this is a really specific character trait, which makes me think that it's potentially a true story.
Has to be.
This must hit pretty close to home for you, right? Like, this is how you made all those poor girls feel. They would have rather
not close to home, Tim. I mean, it hits home.
Yes.
Home has been hit.
Right. Now,
like, this could be about me.
Right. It might be about you, Garrett.
Oh, it might be.
I
was always dialing random numbers.
Yeah. And listen, I will say this. I am not without blame here. I very recently texted Garrett some Pablo Neruda poetry. I texted him, I want to do with you what spring does with the cherry trees, and I did not get a response. Nothing whatsoever. But again, in my defense, not making up my own poetry, quoting Pablo Neruda, and that guy is a Nobel Prize winning national treasure.
Yeah, I don't know how you give prizes for poetry. It seems like either it's, connects with you or it doesn't.
Right. So his connects with people. That's why they gave him the prize.
I think it's just a matter of platforms. People just haven't heard my work. All right, let's get into it, Tim. This is a song that most people have heard about 1,000 times. Miss Stefani says, "You think that we connect, that the chemistry is correct. Your words walk right through my ears, presuming I like what I hear." And that kind of sums up exactly what you kicked us off with, Tim. Some dude's calling her repeatedly and reading her creepy poetry like a real loser. Who could imagine doing that? She goes on, "And now I'm stuck in the web. You're spinning, you got me for your prey." So she likens him to a spider, wrapping her up in his web. And then we get to the chorus.
Well, hold on. Now, Garrett, do you think that those poor girls you poetically harassed in high school thought of themselves as your prey? And follow-up question, did you think of them as prey?
No. I wanted an emotional connection. Or I'd already made one. I wanted a physical connection.
Gross.
Yeah, it is. And sad. But I guarantee you at least one of them was just like, wow, this guy doesn't get it at all. Yeah, I wasn't like creepy. I just was sad.
Right, but you had a Stefani on your own. But that's the thing. You were just sad, but they might have been creeped out by it.
God, that's very true. Right? I came on really strong once.
Yeah. Like if you're calling people and Philip Seymour Hoffmaning over the phone, sure, you're sad. What you're doing is super sad, and if anyone was to see it, they would be sad for you. But the person on the other end of the phone is afraid.
Jessica, phone's for you. Hello. Hey. You're really pretty today. I thought you looked really nice. I'd like to take you on a date. Oh, dude, I rewatched Talented Mr. Ripley the other day. Oh. I forgot how fucking funny he is in that movie. Like,
I don't remember laughing in that movie.
There's at least one part you will where basically he walks in on Ripley like staring at people and he goes, "Tommy, how's the peeping?"
You know what? That is funny.
Back to the song, Tim. We hit the chorus and she says, "Sorry, I'm not home right now. I'm walking into spider webs. So leave a message and I'll call you back. A likely story, but leave a message and I'll call you back." And obviously in the last verse, they likened him to a spider and her being wrapped up in the web. But I like to take a more general approach to this chorus and just say, we all hate walking into spider webs.
Absolutely.
And she would rather walk into a spider web than deal with this creepo on the phone.
Yeah.
God, there's nothing worse, is there? Out on a nice hike, boom, straight into a spider web.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's people that like it. Like, think about this, Garrett. Well, no, think about this. You've been on the trail with me a number of times. We've done the Pacific Coast Trail. You remember the goths we saw walking on that trail? Mm-hmm. I think they were out there trying to get spider webs on their face. I think that's why they were hiking.
Oh, Azrael, it's so dark. I've got a black widow on my face. Just listening to Bauhaus. Bela Lugosi's dead.
Yes.
Weirdos. Absolute weirdos. Song continues. Communication. A telephonic invasion. I'm planning my escape. Now, I want to say at this point, just tell him. Be honest. You don't have to be mean, but be firm. Tell him that you do not like the poetry and you'd like the phone calls to stop.
Oh, she's scared of him, Garrett.
Oh.
Yeah. You know,
I can't say that's a bad instinct.
No, and it's not, Garrett, because it turns into a thing where simply by his persistence, he begins haunting her dreams, right? In the bridge and chorus here, and it's all your fault. I screen my phone calls. No matter who calls, I gotta screen my phone calls. So she can't answer her phone, right? She's afraid to answer her phone, and here's the problem. It is the mid-90s, and she's Gwendolyn Stefani. A lot of people are calling her. This would be a huge problem for her. And then it goes on. Now it's gone too deep. You wake me in my sleep. My dreams become nightmares because you're ringing in my ears. Here's the question I have for you, Garrett. Do you think that as a result of your relentless poetic pursuit of high school girls, you ended up, and again, while you were in high school, obviously.
Sure.
You ever ended up as somebody's Fredence Krueger? Were you ever somebody's dream monster?
I saw this question coming. I have to say, I knew you were going to ask. I can say confidently no. I was more effusive, but not persistent, which is a helpful distinction. So I would perhaps come on a bit strong or come at you with a slightly bigger gesture than the relationship would warrant. But then after that epic failure, I would run tail tucked. Like I wasn't a party Bob, if you will, that just keeps hammering away.
Fair enough. And that's a good quality for a creep, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, here's the sad part, Tim, looking at it some 15 years later. I meant well. Like, I didn't really do anything. It was like, hey, I got you a birthday present, even though we're barely friends.
Right. And it was a very expensive, very nice birthday present.
It was.
My heart has broken for you when you've told me this story before.
Yeah. It turns out you don't buy basically strangers $200 watches in high school. Really at all, but especially in high school.
Probably at all.
Yeah, probably at all.
Yeah. So that's spider webs.
Yeah. Well, I do want to ask you one more question before we move on, Tim, because it made me curious, and you might know. Can you get arrested for calling and asking to speak to somebody politely?
I don't think so.
What if you do it 5 times in a day?
I don't know about arrested.
What about 10?
I mean, you can, well, here's the thing. I think that at some point
if I've called Gwen Stefani 25 times today, should I be concerned?
You're fine until she gets a restraining order that covers phone time.
Oh, did not know that was a thing.
Yeah.
Makes sense now that you said it is, but... All right, track number 2. Excuse me, mister.
Mister, you got things all wrong. You make it feel like a crime. So
This one's a little bit more punk rocky. It's kind of more of what I was picturing, or maybe more of what I remembered.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's a classic he's just not that into you sort of situation, or possibly she, shouldn't assume.
Yeah, that's what they say. They say it's about a woman who wants a guy to notice her, and he's not ever gonna.
Yeah, now, what's the situation here? We're going to get into the nitty-gritty.
Right.
Let's kick things off. Oh, I'm like a beggar with no luck. I'm holding signs up on your street corner stops. Like most, you try not to see me. Stare straight ahead, ignore the responsibility. So she's trying to get his attention. Not entirely sure I understand ignore the responsibility.
Oh,
Is
okay,
she with
because
child?
this is about the homeless, Garrett. The person she's into is a homeless man.
No.
This is about noticing a really hot homeless man and then pretending to be homeless yourself so that you can date him.
I see. I
Or
like this.
There's the other thing. Okay, so that's theory number one. Well, all the theories are homeless related. The other theory is that maybe she believes that the homeless are prostitutes, and then she's annoyed that they won't accept her sex money. There's some evidence for that later in this song as well.
All right, let's keep going. She says, "Excuse me, well, I've been waiting in line, and I'd like to buy some of your time.
There you
I'm
go.
very anxious."
Right there.
I'm very anxious, eager, willing. What's your billing?
Right, this
Anxious,
man
eager, willing.
is simply a homeless man. He is not a prostitute.
Interesting. Okay, I took it a slightly different way, but we're very close here. Maybe we can marry the two ideas, maybe touch tips on these themes. I thought perhaps it's either somebody who, well, actually, okay, so I have three theories. One of them is yours. One of them is that she is treating somebody like some sort of mimbo and attempting to purchase him, or at least his sex. But the next one I thought perhaps is that she has a crush on some guy, but this guy has a very busy job. So she's been waiting in line and she wants to buy some of his time. So maybe he's like working at a hot dog stand, right? She's like, ooh, sexy. And he's like, lady, I can't fucking leave my stand. I mean, it's noon. This is how I make my nut. And she's like, okay, well, what if I buy your time, you sexy hot dog slinger?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, now we're talking.
Just buy all the hot dogs.
Oh, yeah, I guess you could do that. So song continues. So please excuse me, mister. You've got things all wrong. You make it feel like a crime. So don't confuse me, mister. I've known you too long. All I need is a little of your time.
Right. She believes that this man is a prostitute, and he's just like, hey, I'm not. Leave me alone, lady. And she's like, you're making this seem like it's a crime. I want to rent you. Listen, I don't want to buy your body. I just want to rent your body, you see.
I want to buy all your hot dogs, and then I want to fuck you.
Right.
The two are not related. Also, I don't want your hot dogs. I'm just going to buy them so that you'll be done with that, and I don't want to hear about it.
Right.
Listen, most people, if it's Gwen Stefani, are going to be like, deal.
But this is a man who has morals, and he's not gonna
be bought.
Right.
What I liked him is that she knows he's not a prostitute, and it's just like, yeah, I know. I'm just gonna keep. Listen, buddy, I got ever increasing money sacks in this truck, and I'm just gonna get a bigger and bigger sack till you say okay.
Everyone's got their price, Garrett. Technically, everyone is a prostitute. They just have not reached. They just don't know exactly how much money it would take.
Some are classier than others.
Right. There's nobody on this earth that you couldn't, like, if you just keep pulling money sacks out, eventually you're going to have to do it. It would be financially irresponsible not to.
Do you think you could tempt a billionaire?
Absolutely. And here's the thing, because billionaires are the greediest among us. Now, it would have to be a lot of money, but
so much.
If you could bump them up one slot on the global billionaire list, they would absolutely have sex with you. That's all they care about, is some sort of weird ranking system.
Mr. Gates, Jeff Bezos on the phone? Hey, Jeffrey, how's it going? Hey, Bill, got a weird suggestion here, and I want you to hear me out. Yeah, sure, what's up? You want to buy Microsoft? No, weirder. I want to have you, Bill. I'm sorry? God, you're right. Those fucking creeps.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's probably, when they flip-flop and how they lose net worth, and that's
all that's happening?
Right, exactly. It's just transferring from one to the other as they have sex with one another.
Oh, man, somebody gave Musk a hand job.
Yeah, right. Now he's bragging.
It's totally awesome. We all hate you. God, we hate you. Let's see here, Timmy. Here's where the metaphor really starts to fall apart. So this is where our show can uncover where sloppy songwriting was just kind of a hand wave because for the love of me, I don't know what's happening here. She says, "Oh, for most, love comes for free. They don't pay the high cost of mental custody. I'll pay bail for a guarantee. Make space for me in the time yet to be."
It's like she's trying to do some sort of Middle Ages poetry. Like she's trying to phrase everything old-timey for some reason.
It's all quite confusing. Like, I tried to parse it, and I'm not sure, like, is her brain the prison? Is she the bail bondsman? What's mental
just
custody?
Bad writing. She just
she's
tried to
bad
make
writing.
it sound like fancy.
Now, Tim, do you remember what happens to the music in the bridge of this song?
Yeah.
It's a full change up into some sort of like pa or skiffle band. It's just
They do that on several of these. I feel like they're just like, well, we got the horns. What other kind of music has horns in it? Let's just do a little of that.
Hey, Peter! What kind of noise that thing make? Yeah, we can do that. All right, we're going to do that. Song continues, "What should I do? I'm about to crack, and there's a force that comes over me. It's almost as if I'm tied to the tracks. I'm waiting for him to rescue me." Is she staging elaborate Superman scenarios in order to get him to save her and create a trauma-based meet cute?
I think so. Yeah.
Then she continues, though. "The funny thing is, he's not going to come. He's not going to find me." She keeps being saved either by the wrong person or not at all.
Yeah, right, because that's what she wants. She wants a homeless man. She has a very specific homeless man in mind, and he's drinking God knows what, cough syrup, and he's just kind of passed out in a heap, and so she's hired somebody to pretend to mug her, and along comes some upstanding venture capitalist and kicks the crap out of this guy. He's like, "No, not you. Keep moving." Jesus.
Coming this fall to Fox, Undercover Homeless. I'm Gwen Stefani, and I'm going to find my next man on the streets. I think that's about it. We get the chorus and an outro that's basically just the chorus, and that's all the notes I got. What about you?
That works for me. Track number 3, Just a Girl.
I'm just a girl, a little lonely. Well, don't let me out.
There is an apologetics parody of this called Jezebel. 'Cause I'm Jezebel. I'm Israel's king. So don't tell me that I'm his wife. Yeah, I'm Jezebel. I'm the one who really pulls the strings. So don't tell me about equal rights. It's not good. It's not a good song, Garrett.
It's pretty great.
Yes. Now, how literal is her alleged subjugation at the hands of society or men or a specific man?
I think very not.
In reality,
I hope.
it's not. But what
Well,
does
I hope
she
it's not
think
literal.
it is?
Well, I don't think it's literal.
I
because
understand it's not literal, but
Okay.
in her head, is it literal?
Well, I don't know. Let's go line by line.
Okay.
Great. Just to be clear, folks, this is the song. Like, I've heard this song 3,000 times. It's in that dreadful Captain Marvel film.
Oh, I liked it.
Oh, I did not like that movie.
Yeah, I thought she did a good job.
Oh, I thought she did a bad job.
That's
She
because
looks
you're
so...
a misogynist, Garrett.
Why?
I don't know why. It's
I
just
like the other ladies of the Marvel universe. I literally just that one. I'm like, that's a
name
wooden
7
performance.
ladies in the Marvel universe that you enjoy.
Okay, Black Widow, Florence Pugh, the chick who played Ghost in the second Ant-Man, Okoye from Black Panther, Shuri, that's 5. Fuck, what did you say, 7? I'm so close. The chick from How I Met Your Mother who's... What's her name? She had that terrible show on CBS for an hour. She plays Scully. No.
Oh, you know what? I actually had a meeting with her.
What?
Yeah, no. This is very strange. So, I don't really care about your thing anymore. I'm doing
Colby
my thing.
Smulders. I'm one away, you dick, and I got her name.
Yeah, so here's the deal. I bought all the rights to the script for the show How Did This Get Made?
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Right. So I bought all the script or all the rights to all of the things they said. And then I tried to get the cast of How I Met Your Mother to do a cover of it, and nobody was into it.
Yeah, I could see Jason Segel being a hard pass on that.
Oh, I didn't actually even get to him.
Oh, it was just a hard no on Colby.
Yeah.
And you were like, if I can't have the small dog, I don't want to do it.
Somebody's got to play June.
Her husband is that guy with the weird name who used to be on SNL. What's that guy's name?
I have no idea.
Taint or...
It's not Taint. sure
It's
isn't.
close to that.
It's not.
Yes,
Take
it is.
this pink ribbon off of my eyes. I'm exposed and it's no big surprise. Don't you think I know exactly where I stand? This world is forcing me to hold your hand. So she is not able to be a autonomous person. Is that
Yes.
is that what we're and she knows it. She knows it, she's bitter about it, and she knows the cause of it.
Yeah, pink ribbons.
Right. Because I'm just a girl, oh, little old me. Well, don't let me out of your sight. Oh, I'm just a girl, all pretty and petite, so don't let me have any rights.
Oh, I've had it up to here.
Yeah. And
yeah.
here's my question. Even when this was written, probably 1994, nobody's preventing Gwen Stefani from doing anything.
I did some research. One person is preventing Gwen Stefani from doing things,
Oh.
and it's her dad.
Well, yeah, but by preventing, you mean he was like, hey, don't drive so late at night. It's not safe.
Sure, but by don't drive so late at night, the actual story is in her late 20s, she was yelled at by her father for driving past dark.
Well, she's a terrible driver.
Oh, that's true. That is
She has
true.
some sort of I don't know what it is, but she's all over the road.
Some sort of strabismus.
Yeah, so
anyway.
here's a fun story. Garrett once said strabismus, and I corrected him, and I said it's strabismus. Now I'm doing it.
Now who's the stupid, you stupid fuck?
And I
8 years
corrected-
ago, I get one word wrong.
Strabismus. Well, it's not that you got it wrong. That's fine. The problem was you were so disappointed that it wasn't strabismus because you fell in love with that word, and then you were so sad.
There's like 8 words in the human language I enjoy, and one of them is strabismus, and the other is trebuchet.
Yeah, that's
Stay tuned for
okay.
more words.
That's 2 words. Name the other 6.
No, stay tuned for more words.
All right. Because I'm just a girl I'd rather not be, because they won't let me drive late at night. Oh, I'm just a girl, guess I'm some kind of freak, because they all sit and stare with their eyes. Oh, I'm just a girl, take a good look at me. I'm just your typical prototype.
Yeah, I mean, slightly different lyrics than the first chorus, but more or less still the same. And, I gotta say, if you're like a super hot lady, it's gotta be hard. Men are creeps, like super creeps, and I try actively to not be a creep, and I gotta imagine most people don't. That's gotta suck. People are just staring at you.
Yeah, at least peep from afar, right? Is that
Do
what
it
you're
subtly.
saying? Right.
Use reflections. Don't tear and kill him. That's that guy's name.
Yeah, I don't think that's him. You called him Taint. You thought his name was
Yeah.
Taint.
Very close.
It's really not. Oh, I'm just a girl living in captivity. Your rule of thumb makes me worrisome. Oh, I'm just a girl. What's my destiny? What I've succumbed to is making me numb. Oh, I'm just a girl. My apologies. What I've become is so burdensome. Oh, I'm just a girl. Lucky me. Twiddledum. There's no comparison.
Pretty consistent.
Yeah. And this, I think, to me is it's a little bit ironic because she would later literally imprison a series of Japanese women, allegedly.
Yeah, that is weird. Maybe that was the whole root of it, though. She got tired of being the subjugated one and had to find somebody to lord over.
Sure. But the weird part about this song is that, and especially the way it's used, like the way it's used in the Captain Marvel and whatnot, it never gets to the girl power part, right? There's no turn where she's better, where she overcomes anything. It's just a person bitching about mild inconveniences she's subjected to based on her gender, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think the idea is the entire thing is ironic.
Oh, all right.
That should not be a revelation.
I will say this. I would enjoy this song a lot better if Rick Rubin got that Johnny Cash studio running again. Maybe some acoustic guitars. You get Britney Spears to somberly cover this akin to Johnny Cash's Hurt. Pretty funny.
I'm just a girl.
Well, that's not a Britney Spears voice.
Have you heard her lately, dude? Things are
Well,
tough.
you know what? She is turning into Johnny Cash.
Yeah, so that's pretty much the song. Pretty consistent. Not a ton of issues with it. It's not my favorite No Doubt song, but it's very serviceable. It's a good song.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Track number 4, Happy Now. Happy Now?
Yeah, this is about a girl dumped by her indecisive lover.
Yes.
This is obviously about Tony Kanal, and, he's there playing bass while she sings about how he's a cunt.
Yeah, pretty much. And again, this is just basic pop rock, not even close to ska. Let's get right into it, because this is where we start to hit the real relationship run, so we'll try to motor through it quickly. She says, "You had the best, but you gave her up, because dependency might interrupt. Idealistic will girl so hard to please, put your indecisive mind at ease. So he broke up with her, fearing commitment, or possibly one of them had a dependency on drugs.
I think it's dependency on each other, right? Like, so.
Oh, sure, Tim, but we gotta explore all options. I agree with you entirely. But let's not rule out that one of them might have a dependency on drugs.
Maybe one of them's got an addiction to kidnapping Asians.
See, I like that too, because it's, what happened.
Maybe one of history's greatest tragedies is that Gwen Stefani never met Rivers Cuomo. Because you think about
It's probably best.
the havoc they could have wrought.
Oh, sure. They would have referred to those two as Japan's Pearl Harbor.
Oh.
Such a stupid joke. Sorry. Oh God, Tim, could you only imagine? For whatever reason, I think that Gwen's soft and open personality lures them in like it's a safe environment. But then, like Willem Dafoe at a sleepover, fucking Rivers Cuomo emerges from the shadows. Ha ha! Welcome to my jars.
Oh, I just assume once you follow Gwen into a room, Rivers is just standing by the door. You didn't see him until he closes the door. You turn around to see what that noise was, and just Rivers. It's Rivers.
And a series of door locks you're not familiar with. Never seen a safe knob on a door before. That's weird. Anyway, hello, Spider-Man. Oh, Rivers Cuomo.
Yeah.
Hello, Japanese girl. Prove me wrong. The pre-chorus and chorus are her mocking him when he comes a-groveling back. She says, "You broke the set, now there's only singles. There's no looking back, and this time I mean it. Are you happy now? Oh, tell me how you're happy now. Are you happy?"
And here's the thing. Tony just had to sit there and take this knowing that he is possibly the world's greatest man. He sacrificed so much to make this song happen, to make this album happen.
Well, Tim, your theory, which by the way, just brilliant. I didn't even think about the self-sacrifice angle. Your theory holds water in this song because if he had the master plan of putting Gwen through this deep emotional trauma in order to generate this album, there's no reason that over that 2-year tour, he couldn't be like, hey, let's get back together. And she, obviously deeply hurt and untrusting, Kanal, rightly so, is like, fuck you. Clearly you have regrets now after you see how successful we are and how everyone loves me. And he's like, you don't understand.
See, here's the thing.
I did it for you.
I don't think he ever would do that because while he's on tour, he knows she has to go out on that stage and sing with the same emotions that she felt the day he broke her heart. So I don't think he would ever break character.
Wow. You love Kanal.
Yeah. No, man. He'll be fine. Have you seen him? Jesus
yeah,
Christ.
it's ridiculous.
Well, he looks ridiculous, but you're not factoring in the ska.
He's all sca'd out.
Right. But in the world of ska, he looks just fine.
Song continues. The uncertainty you had of me brought clouded shady company. The tenderness habitual, a seldom fading ritual. They weren't banging as much, and when they did, it was more out of habit or self-service than it was out of actually, having an intimate moment.
How sad.
Incredibly. Here we go. Here's a bunch of word salad. The contemplator all those years. Now you must adhere to your new career of liberation. You've been cast all by yourself. You're free at last. Not the last time she would quote MLK in one of her songs.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. It's every one of these, not everyone, like at least half of the songs on this album have a verse that just makes no sense. It sounds like it was written by somebody completely separate from any of the other lyrics in these songs.
Now, before we move on, Tim, because it's pretty much over, I do want to read the outro because I did a little math. Here's the outro. Oh, you're by yourself, all by yourself. You got no one else. You're all by yourself. All by yourself, all by yourself, all by yourself, all by yourself. No one else. No one else. By yourself. By yourself. 8 lines, 37 words, 18 of them are by yourself. That's almost half of the entire outro. There's some spite in that outro.
Yeah, and again, he did this. This is his art.
Yeah, all the while, she thinks he's crying because he's sad. He's crying because of the sacrifice and the beauty of this moment.
Yeah.
God damn, Kanal. Who knew? All the nice praise we're heaping on him, I hope helps to offset the fact that we are basically calling him Tony Anal.
I'm fine with it.
Track number 5. Different people.
Really leaning into the horns on this one.
Yeah, a lot more ska forward, horns and keys right up front. Really hard to know what this song is about.
Yeah, I feel like this is the least insightful insight I've ever heard. It's ICP level of publicly realizing something that every other human knows and everyone should have known for at least 20 years at this point.
Is that realization that everybody's different and we should just tolerate that?
Yeah, everyone's different. And then like sometimes when you combine two different people, it's like becomes a third thing, you know? And like
A baby?
No. Like like personality wise, like when two people
like the
come
show.
together, yeah, sure. We're not gonna have a. You know what?
I asked if it was a baby. You said no.
Right, and now I'm thinking it might be. Yeah, no, listen, the world is big. There's lots of people in it. Those people are different. When they interact with each other, there's variable results. This is a new thing. I just learned this. It's a bad song.
Yeah, it's not great. Because I didn't like any of those themes, I made up my own. So
Excellent.
Let's get into it. Well, things can be broken down in this world of ours. You don't have to be a famous person just to make your mark. A mother can be an inspiration to her little son and change his thoughts, his mind, his life, just with a gentle hum. It's real lascivious. It's a real creepy hum. She goes on. So different, yet so the same. Two sisters only have their parents to blame. And I want to pause. At this point, even with all the things you said, Tim, like, what the fuck is this song about?
I don't know.
Okay.
She's realizing that different people have different personalities, right? So two sisters, they have the same parents, they had the same upbringing, but they're not the same person. How could that be?
Yeah, it's not great. So I instead started to think of the singer of this song, the main character, to be kind of like a swarm or assimilation monster, maybe your classic Borg for you Trekkies out there, or possibly just Gwen accumulating world fame. But she says how, you can change thoughts and minds and lives. And then she gave that creepy humming noise. She goes on. The sky is full of clouds, and my world's full of people. You got the different kinds with different ways. It would take a lifetime to explain. Not one's the same. Folks, that's the most accurate impression you're going to hear today. At one point in the song, at least, she just goes,
She sure does.
And that's her siren's call, Tim. She is calling all the different people around the world to her to, I don't know, let's say consume their brains.
Fair enough. He and she, two different people with two separate lives. Then you put the two together, you get a spectacular surprise. Because one can teach the other one what she doesn't know, while still the other fills a place inside he never knew had room to grow.
At this point, I would like to point out that Gwen Stefani is a misogynist. She just said, it's good because, like, men can teach women intellectual things like math and how stuff works, and women can teach men not to be monsters and have emotions. Which, while on the surface is not entirely untrue, it is not the basic, like, reason we get together these days.
Right, you're right. It's absolutely true, but we just don't say it. I'm in.
Tim's words.
Our words. Garrett, hold my hand. Our
I don't want to
words.
hold your hand.
Sorry. I thought you were going to say our words together with me, and you didn't.
What part of the look on my fucking face makes you think we agree about this? Find the feed, folks. Anyway, you know what, Tim? All I'm going to say is there's a guitar and horn solo in this, and let's just move on. It's a stupid song.
Yes.
Track 6. Hey, you! Opening sitar.
Yeah, it's real weird.
But then we go to a blues guitar that's pretty generic, kind of sounds like a Viagra commercial.
Yeah.
You live life in the fast lane. You know I do. But I have trouble with my boners. Damn it, someone's going to isolate that. Whatever. Okay, yeah, so a little unexpected on the generic blues front, but whatever. This song, I think, Tim, might be about Gwen Stefani driving around Los Angeles, either mocking the homeless or the groomless.
Interesting. So she, spurned by her own love, she is now going around and spreading the pain.
So she just drives around all weekend. She goes, rents a limo, fills a bunch of water balloons with paint, and just hucks them at brides.
Yeah, I can see. So imagine you're about to go into the church on your wedding day, and Gwen Stefani pulls up in a limo and leans out the window and says, "Hey you, with the wedding dress on, made of white chiffon blowing in the wind. Hey you, with the dreams in your head. You've been so misled by your heart's pull." And then just listen, you're not gonna get married. Come on.
I thought you were gonna say she just pulls up and goes, "I'm just a girl. And then hucks a bunch of red paint water balloons at you. She just paintballs you. Just drive, Tony, drive. Okay, Gwen. All right, so back to the song anyway.
I was really hoping you were going to put more of this into your music instead of whatever this is. I made a mistake.
It's part of her process. Just let her get it out. Song continues with the chorus. You're just like my Ken and Barbie doll. You dress up and play the game. You're just like my Ken and Barbie doll. Your name will never change. So she's mocking those people who conform to cultural norms, aka squares. And for the first time on this album, Tim, I think you and I can wholeheartedly agree with Miss Stefani. You and I are constantly battling squares.
Sure. Yeah. They are everywhere.
We are routinely just beating off attempts to take over this podcast in a hostile takeover by squares.
Squares
could you
and
imagine?
Suits. If squares and Suits could get along well enough to team up, we'd be screwed.
We couldn't stop them. They'd have too much money, too much power, hostile takeover. We lose total control of the show. We just become corporate puppets.
Yeah.
God, that'd be awesome. We'd be so rich.
Yeah.
Anyway, song continues. Well, hey, you with the eyes full of hope. You think you can rope your desires? Well, hey, you naive thing. Your patience in time will tire. I know you're thinking that your tide will roll in. How'd you ever get such high hopes? Who's she talking to?
The way they would describe it, she's probably talking to her previous self, right? She's talking to that self that had not been broken up with by Tony just yet.
Right.
But
No,
I
that
like
makes
your
sense.
thing better. I think she's going on a rampage, heartbroken rampage. She's just going out there and ruining people's relationships.
She's looking for young starlets who came out to Los Angeles to become Hollywood stars and have fallen on hard times. She's like, oh, there's one. I can see it in her eyes. Hey, you, with all your hopes and dreams. Shattered, right? Welcome to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
I'm just a girl. Sorry, Tony.
Right. 2 weeks until you're doing pornography. See you later.
Yeah, yeesh. Then we get what I could only describe as a harpsichord solo.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. You know what, Tim? I'm going to admit it right here on the show. I like a good harpsichord.
You know, I think you've admitted that before.
Oh, how embarrassing. Then it's mostly the chorus over and over again, but she does shout, hey, you, at least 8 times. So that's worth mentioning. Track number 7, The Climb.
Pulling myself up, I rub my bed on my feet.
Girl power, I guess.
Okay, you're going to think I'm joking when I tell you what I honestly think this song's about, but I want to be really clear. I really think that's what the song's about.
Hold on. Before you say anything, are you going to say this is an assault on heaven?
No.
Okay.
Of course not.
It might be.
Oh my God. Did you notice the weird keyboard opening or possibly organ, whatever you want to call it, that has like the same like fluty sounds as Strawberry Fields Forever?
Yes, I did. I think that her brother is still being weird in this band at this point.
Yeah, trying feverishly to make it cooler than it is. Sorry, Eric. Not gonna happen, bud. So this is a weird, jammy, slow, and sultry blues number.
Well, hold
Nobody
on.
saw that
What's
coming.
it about? What do you think it's about?
Oh, I'm going to reveal it in due time,
Okay.
sir. So let's get into it. Song opens with, step by step, I come closer to reaching the top. Every step must be placed so I don't fall off. Looking down to see about how much higher I am. Another cool wind comes through, brushes my skin. Weird song. And at this point, I'll reveal that I believe this song is about climaxing.
Interesting. I can see that.
I think it is, and I'm not joking. Like, I don't think I'm reading into it. I think this is about an orgasm. Song continues. Oh, the harder I push, the tension does grow. I gather my thoughts the further and further I go. With some luck, I might keep on climbing. So better to climb than to face a fall.
Yeah, okay. I agree. I think you're right.
So high the climb, I can't turn back now. Must keep climbing up to the clouds. So high the climb, I can't turn back now. Must keep climbing up to the clouds. I hate it when I write down the whole chorus only to realize it's the same goddamn line twice.
Yeah. Anyway, after dark. After so much dark.
After dark. As I turned, I could see myself falling, 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 which in return gave me strength for the climb. Strength for the climb. Interpreted, changing positions made her lose some momentum, but all the better, it helped her save a little strength for the climb ahead.
Oh my.
I know. Then we get the chorus about 80 times in a row with a random bridge, all along the same basic theme. She's climbing, boy is it high, etc., etc. A lot of bombastic horn, not ska. It's almost like weird 50s doo-wop. But let's not dwell on that. Let's get to the outro, Tim, because the outro, she says, getting closer, coming closer, getting closer. Oh! What a good boy I am. Looking back at you. 7 times in a row. Looking back at you. Then to the top 15 times, not a joke, to the top 15 times. So folks, if you keep a track, looking back at you, looking back at you, looking back at you, 7 times. Then to the top, 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 to 15, only to come back to the looking back at you, looking back at you, looking back at you. They're fucking.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, song about banging, which is fine. She did it in a real classy way.
Sure, yeah, no, I thought it was going to be an assault on heaven, so, which I guess
Fantastic.
technically an orgasm is.
You know what they say, Tim? Better to bury your seed in the belly of a whore than to let it cast upon the floor of a Motel 6.
I think Jesus said that.
Yeah, him or
Someone in the
Stalin.
Bible.
Track number 816.
Been a juvenile with a dolphin smile.
Let me preface this entire song by saying, ugh.
Yeah, it's a little icky, isn't it?
It is. Stop
this song about
sexualizing
Gwen?
children.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, no, you're not wrong. I decided to go a slightly different angle, but still the same theme. A song about Gwen catching a perhaps younger neighbor giving her a bit of the peep.
Maybe.
How's the peeping, Tommy?
You've been a juvenile with a dolphin smile. Now let me stop myself right there. What the fuck does that mean?
God, I love you and that dolphin smile. I'm leaving.
Yeah, a horrible rictus grin is what I think of your smile.
Dolphins don't smile.
Are you perhaps afflicted by tetanus? Why are you smiling like that?
God damn. Sorry, continue.
You've been a juvenile with a dolphin smile, with no elbow room, with your body in bloom. You've had your
Hold
little...
on. We've got dolphins and bodies in bloom. She's addressing a younger person.
Stop describing puberty like this, Gwen. You are not good at it.
You've had your little backyard protected by big walls. You didn't dare look over because you've been too small. She's seen him for the last 10 to 14 years playing in his backyard as a boy, but now he's peeping at her like a man.
And she's into it.
Yeah, she is into it. I think she gives him
being watched.
Now you're finally 16 and you're feeling old, but they won't believe that you've got a soul. No, whoa, oh no, because you're only 16 and you're feeling real, but you can't seem to cup a feel. No, whoa, oh no.
Yeah, this is a horny child. She's describing a horny child.
She's implying that teen boys might not have a soul, and I'm inclined to agree.
Well, I agree with that sentiment. I don't think that's what she's saying. I think she's because kids are treated as not people until they're however old. I think she's
Large enough
saying,
to be noticed.
Yeah, I think she's saying, you're 16, you feel like an adult, but no one will treat you like an adult because they don't yet see you as your own person. You're somebody's kid, basically. But I don't see you that way. I see you a whole different way. Look at my boobs.
Yeah, I totally can understand what it's like to be you, and if you want to kind of touch them a little bit, we don't got to tell your mom. Now, at the same time, had I been 16 and Gwen Stefani had been like, 16-year-old Garrett, you've got it tough. You want to come over and get to second base? I'd have been like, oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, but you would have said that to anybody.
Anybody.
Yeah.
Anybody, body.
Yeah.
Top men. Wait, that sounds like it was men. Sorry, it wasn't. To be, a lot of people have been writing in lately that apparently they think that we are, to use the words in the emails, queer lovers.
Yeah.
To be clear, gang, we're not.
Yeah, they do make it sound very, tender, though.
Yeah, that part's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it wouldn't be.
Yeah. Well, Tim and I have a basic misunderstanding of how exactly that works. We just assume it always begins as a fight and the loser's on bottom. hatePodMail@gmail.com. If we've got it wrong, let us know. Or don't. It doesn't matter.
Oh, it would be a struggle. Anyway,
It would be a lot of things. It wouldn't be intimate or passionate.
It would be passionate, just not. Anyway, yeah, you're only 16. Try to cross the line, but your little wings are intertwined. Oh, whoa. Oh, no. Well, you're only 16 and you're such a tease, and there's nothing you can do that can really please. Whoa. Oh, no. This is a song sung from the point of view of a predator. Yep.
Yeah. But to be, again, fair, the coolest kind. Gwen Stefani.
Sure, okay. You're such a tease. You're only
It's
16.
fucked up, Tim. I'm not saying it's not fucked up, man. I'm just saying let's face the reality of a 16-year-old boy meeting a neighbor that looked like Gwen Stefani.
Want to catch
It's not
a
okay.
peek? Want to catch a peek? But they look at you like you're such a freak. Whoa, oh no. Well, you're only 16 with a lot to say, but they won't give you the time of day. Whoa, oh no. It's like I really think that it's about dealing with like parents and teachers and how like nobody sees you as a person. It's so poorly phrased though that it comes across as somebody
As grooming.
Exactly. As somebody who's planning a molesting.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. She's trying to say like, hey, you're about to deal with like the shittiest part of all of childhood, that lead up just before you can vote. And basically you're going to have a terrible time. She says, why do they have to force us through this metamorphose? Which, to be clear, does not rhyme with us.
It doesn't rhyme, but it's not even correct. It should be metamorphosis, the noun form, but she uses metamorphose because it rhymes slightly more, but it's still just fuck you. This is bad songwriting.
Oh, little butterfly, no matter how you try, you'll be segregated. You're going to be closed off. I'm going to put you in my little room. No, what she means is that, it's going to be isolating and embarrassing, and you're going to feel like you have nobody in the world. But come on over to your neighbor's house. She'll let you check out her titties.
Yes. Here's the thing. If you're not trying to groom a child, the words and the metaphors you are using should not confuse.
Yeah, you shouldn't use words like butterfly and chrysalis and titties.
Right. You shouldn't say you're such a tease. You can't seem to cop a feel. Want to catch a peek?
Yeah, you shouldn't use peak.
That body in bloom, you dolphin smile.
Dolphin smile you can use. That's not arousing. That's not arousing at all. That's a new red flag. Add it to the book, Gino. Gino's book of red flags. Dolphin smile. I know. I never heard it either. Just out of range for those mics every time. Anyway. Let's move on, Timmy. Let's move on after I read this sentence. You get a chorus, an outro, and then she shouts, "You're only 16," repeatedly.
Yes, and that
leaving a great taste in your mouth. Track number 9, Sunday Morning.
You're trying my shoes on for a change.
Oh, man.
Yeah, this is a direct reference to the breakup. And again, like...
He pretends like it doesn't hurt deeply, and she doesn't really give a fuck.
Absolutely, because even whether this is him being a magnanimous gentleman who's doing this for the art or not, whether he just broke up with her, in either case, what a shitty thing for her to do, right?
Yeah.
To just sing about what a miserable shitbag he is right next to him for 2+ years.
And I know it's just a theory. And again, I want to really compliment you. What a theory.
I have to compliment you. I am loving these compliments.
Ooh, compliment rescinded. Yeah, there's really only one rule. Don't acknowledge the niceties. Anyway, no, it almost can't be a theory, Tim. Why would Tony Kanal ever break up with Gwen Stefani?
That's true.
There's no logic to it.
That's true. He's a ska guy and she's a ska girl, but the difference is if you see a picture of them together, go check out her Instagram if you'd like to, she can turn into not a ska girl. He's stuck as ska guy.
Yeah, exactly. Well put. What are your thoughts on men named Tony?
I mean, we deal with a lot of them in this neighborhood. They mostly seem to be just on the unpleasant side of Kurt.
Okay. But here's the big difference. Or I shouldn't say difference. I love a Tony provided they're super New York or at least super Italian.
Well, most most of these guys are.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, we're up to our necks in Tonys. Anthony. But when you meet like a non-New York Tony, I feel like you got to change your name or go by Anthony.
Yeah, if you're not a tough guy, we'll say that. Because you can be,
if you're a tough guy.
It doesn't really matter where you're from. If you're a OTR trucker, you know?
Sure.
But, you know,
That's
you're
tough
getting
Tony.
in bar fights. Yeah, you could be a Tony.
Arm wrestling for custody of your children, you could be a Tony.
Absolutely. What was his name? Don't say Sylvester. I will slap your face if you say Sylvester.
Well, it's a little tough because he has a name that changes throughout the movie. Starts with a W. Yeah, Hawks. Starts with an H. Hawks. Sometimes it's Lincoln Hawk. Sometimes it's Lincoln Hawks, depending on which honestly, is clearly a poor script supervisor. But honestly, that's how real world is. Like, I can't tell you how many people I've introduced myself to, and I'm like, "Hi, I'm Garrett," or "What's the name on the order?" And I say Garrett, and they go, "Cool, I'll write down Gannett or another not name."
Well, you know what? In their defense, I have a lot to do with this.
True. Yeah, you're always screaming Gart over me, so that's fun.
Sappy, pathetic little me. That was the girl I used to be. You had me on my knees. I'd trade you places any day. I never thought you could be that way, but you looked like me on Sunday. So I guess she felt pathetic in the relationship, right? Mm-hmm. At least looking back on it. Obviously, he was very nice to her. Who wouldn't be? Sure. But now that they're broken up, he looks like the pathetic one, because of course he does.
Right. She doesn't realize that he didn't want to do this. He had to do this.
Right. For her art.
For all their sakes, too. Possibly for the sake of humanity.
I wonder if he had anything to do with those, with getting her involved in Japanese culture afterward, because her popularity only spiked after that mess.
Boy, that's an interesting question. That is.
We might have to go back and redo that album.
Oh my God, Lobster Martini asshole redux.
Yeah, and look at the Tony Kanal
connection.
Yeah, there we go.
Lobster Martini asshole, the Kanal cut.
Oh,
we almost have to.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's keep going. This song's short. She says, "You came in with the breeze on Sunday morning. You sure have changed since yesterday without any warning. I thought I knew you. I thought I knew you. I thought I knew you well, so well." Yeah, he's come in 24 hours later. He looks like total and complete shit because he has totally internalized the fact that he broke up with his one true love in order to save a band that may or may not succeed.
Absolutely. You're trying my shoes on for a change. They look so good, but fit so strange, out of fashion, so I can't complain. I think it's intended to be a metaphor, right? Like, you're wearing my shoes, like, now you know how I felt. But she speaks about it in such literal terms that I question whether or not it's a metaphor.
And she's a pretty tall lady, so she might, and he's a pretty short guy, so might have the same size foot.
How tall is Tony Kanal?
I don't know, but every picture he looked like he was smaller than her.
I would imagine she would have some sort of like Tom Cruise thing where she insists that those around her, or at least her bandmates, are like standing in holes constantly.
Oh, I thought she would just have on like 7-foot heels.
Well, she definitely has that.
Let's see. Tony Kanal. Isn't that one of the first things listed on the internet? 5'7", which means he's 5'5".
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty tiny.
Yeah, fair enough. For a man.
Yeah, 2 inches shorter than Tim.
No, okay, come on.
What? I made him shorter.
No, well, obviously, I'm 4 inches taller than he actually is.
You calling yourself 5'9"?
Yeah, I am. What do you mean?
What, like 6'4"?
What? You're like an inch and a half taller than me. I will cut your Achilles tendons.
Oh my God, then I will be. At least in the back. Let's not leave this song without reading the following. "Thank you for turning on the lights. Thank you. Now you're the parasite. I don't think you had it in you. I didn't think you had it in you. And now you're looking like I used to." He's right there, Gwen.
Yes.
He's literally keeping time for the song. And you call him a parasite.
Yeah,
Ouch.
It's really borderline offensive. When they were interviewed about this in 1997, Tony said that this was his favorite song off Tragic Kingdom. Again, pretty sure he did this on purpose. And Gwen said, it's not mean toward him, really. And then the interviewer says, well, it does call him a parasite, to which she says, oh yeah, I forgot about the bridge.
Jesus.
Yeah, she's a dick, and he's
right there.
He's a great, great man.
Yeah, one of the finest. Alrighty, track number 10, Don't Speak.
Don't speak, I know just what you said. So please stop.
Well, Garrett, Garrett, now that we've heard a little of this song, let's hear a little bit of the apologetic song, God Speaks. And you know what? I actually figured out there's a website that gives brief synopses of each one of these songs.
Oh, God.
I'm not going to give it, but for every one of their songs, they have a little like...
Genius lyrics for it?
No, it's written by the band. It's Why You Should Come to Jesus. That's what it is.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Now, this is a song about the breakup with Tony Kanal, and it is written with her brother, which is Billy Pirate Eilish / Phineas levels of weird.
Yeah. Boy, speaking of those two, they keep popping up in my timeline doing live performances and random interviews. I'm glad we left the door open for those two. I think they're probably very talented. Just not really for us.
Oh, sure. Yeah, no, I think at least she is. He's a creep.
Yeah, but his production skills are really good.
But
I
he's
saw
a
him
creep.
break down. Yes, he is. He is. Sorry. Anyway, back to this. I did pull a quote for this song, Tim. Now, because I was furious when we got, because obviously I've heard the song a bajillion times, but never after 9 other songs about a breakup with a fellow bandmate. And so I was like, what the fuck? Is this actually another song about Kanal? And yes, it is. If you're wondering, was Gwen concerned about 10 songs in a row about this? She was. She said, quote, fuck, I can't keep writing about the same thing, but I gotta write about what's in my head, and that's the only thing on my mind. End quote. Further backing up Tim's entire thesis. It's shocking that you nailed it so early.
Yeah, it is shocking. I'm shocked.
He's shocked, Gino. I think I scared him. Anyway, song goes, you and me, we used to be together. Every day together. Always. I really feel that I'm losing my best friend. I can't believe that this could be the end. You know, it's hard to read into much of this. They're breaking up and it sounds like she's losing her best friend.
Yeah, and he is truly her best friend, though. If only she knew. You know what, Gwen, if you are a listener, this is
Hard
your
to
chance.
imagine she isn't.
Right, but this is her chance. She could go back and she could right the wrong.
Boy, what does that look like, though? I think it's just a public acknowledgement. I can't imagine Kanal holds a candle for Gwen.
I mean, maybe.
It's worth asking.
Yeah. Listen, here. He did all of this for you. You at least owe it to him to put your heart on the line for him.
That's true. Dump that sloppy piece of shit from The Voice.
He is sloppy.
Yeah, he's fucking sloppy. He reminds me of our friend that you once fought
bleep it.
at a... Oh, reminds me of...
Oh, yeah.
Sloppy Nachos.
He is Sloppy Nachos.
His nickname is literally Sloppy Nachos. I don't know why I couldn't think of it.
Did we tell the story of the crab claw?
I think so. I think so. We had to have.
Yeah. All right. Well, then we won't.
Good. If we haven't, we'll get like a whole bunch of emails and shit saying, what's the crab story? So either way. Song continues. Don't speak. I know just what you're saying. So please stop explaining. Don't tell me because it hurts. Don't speak. I know what you're thinking. I don't need your reasons. Don't tell me because it hurts. And the big question here, Tim, is did he get to the breakup or did she stop him and just like, I see where this is going. Please stop.
Yeah, I think it's a, listen, man, you don't have to like.
Yeah, it's not a persuasive. Right. I don't need 3 paragraphs on the topic. You're done. Great.
Yeah.
Now, allow me to read into it ever so slightly. I think there's a chance. Well, let's read the lyrics. She says, as we die, both you and I, with my head in my hands, I sit and cry. Is this metaphorical? Or we got some sort of murder-suicide situation?
I don't think there's a murder-suicide happening in this song.
Okay. Just saying. Sounds that way. I mean, sounds a little like I'll kill you before you break up with me.
Sure, but we've had that scenario so many times.
True.
Yeah. Plus, she clearly didn't. She continued to be in a band as if to punish him.
Yeah, fate worse than death. It's all ending. I gotta stop pretending who we are. She knew it was over. You and me, I can see us dying. Are we? Now again, this does seem to point to the idea that this is some sort of murder-suicide, but maybe she didn't get to the second half of that task.
I think the us is the relationship. Like there is no more us. There is you and I.
You're right. Yeah. Then comes the la 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 breakdown. If you don't know it, I just sang half of it. And then we fade out with a lot of hush, hush, darlings, which sounds like you're quieting somebody as they slowly drift off into the abyss. But what do I know?
And that does it for Don't Speak, track number 11. You can do it.
Since you've been gone, since you've been on blue, it's hard to figure out.
Now, what is this? Sounds
It's a
like
funky 70s groovy jam.
It sounds like the theme to Shaft. What is this?
Yes, that's what it is. And I will say, it's time for some tough love. Gwen, earmuffs. Gwen Stefani's vocals are not powerful enough for this music.
No, they're not.
Too baby doll.
Mm-hmm.
Too It sounds like two. Ugh. Oh my God. If you want me to possibly actually murder somebody in public, just get two people doing baby talk at each other, two adult humans talking to each other. Beep, he beep.
She
I'll kill you.
kind of sounds like a dolphin. We're a dolphin.
That's why she had a dolphin smile.
Yeah.
Well, the boy did, but that's why she thinks it's an expression. Since you've been gone, since you've been unglued, it's hard to figure out your next move. 1 minute here, the next you're gone. Let's make an end to this sad, sad song. Tim, is this an intervention?
Maybe. This is maybe an intervention to keep him from leaving the band, or...
Oh, okay, let's keep going. For you, it's hard to take, because the pill has an awful taste. Just open up and swallow down. Once it hits bottom, things may turn around. I assumed it was rehab or possibly a breakup.
Well, sure, it's the breakup, but I think...
It's always a breakup with these
Jesus
two.
Christ.
Unfortunately, this is the case. You've got to catch up and win the race. Straighten yourself out. You can do it. Nobody knew it. You've been through it.
So here's what's happening, Garrett. She has been unglued. She can't figure out what she needs to do. She is hitting rock bottom. She's catatonic. At which point, Canel comes up and says, listen, you've got to buck up, buckaroo. You've got to win this race. Gwen, you have to pull yourself together and write a fantastic album about this whole thing. This is why I did it, you stupid, stupid asshole.
Yeah. You dumb lobster martini asshole bitch. Oh, I like that. Fucker just keeps on giving. This guy's the Forrest Gump of Gwen Stefani's life. Honestly, Tim, the rest of the lyrics in here are kind of the same, and I don't really care, but can we talk about the jazz trumpet solo?
Absolutely.
Why? Why? Why exactly? What's happening?
Yeah, it's weird because it feels like they get bored with ska, right? Like they've got all those guys there, and they started this out as like a ska album, and then they decided to do some other stuff in there, but like those trumpeteers and the saxophonists, the tromboners even, they're just standing around and it's getting awkward. Like at some point, we just got to give them something to do, and this is what they chose.
Yeah, they're like, is this going to be a ska song? And they're like, not really. But you can play like a Miles Davis style solo in the middle for no reason. Okay, I'll take it. Those poor tromboners. Let's see. Track number 12, World Go Round.
We gotta burn it, mama, we don't make the world go round.
The first 4 seconds of this song is a country song, kinda,
Yes.
and then
Yes.
it turns into ska again.
I didn't even write that sentence down because I was like, that's so specific. Tim's going to think I'm a fucking asshole. But you're 100% right. You're 100% right. Because when it starts, you're like, oh my God, what are we doing here? And then it goes away. So I was like, there's no way he's going to remember the first 4 seconds of this song. But yeah, that's exactly what happens. Then it's solidly back to ska, bordering on reggae.
Yes.
The song itself, Tim, I kind of started to think this might be an entire song dedicated to Gwen Stefani talking herself into cultural appropriation.
Interesting. Okay. Because to me, it feels like it's some sort of environmentalist screed that never gets around to the main point. But I like your
That's
thing
where
better.
it starts. Oh, it definitely starts where you are, and then it just kind of doesn't go anywhere. So I was like, well, maybe they meant it a different way. So let's get into it. She says, in the quickness of our haste, it seems we forget how to live. The old blueprint no longer manifests itself as the correct way to exist. Terrible writing. But basically, in this modern 90s go-go lifestyle, we've started cutting corners and caring less about each other and our world. Great. And apparently the quote-unquote old blueprint no longer manifests itself. You know that old expression.
Yes, I do.
Yes, Mr. Black. Song continues with more stellar songwriting. So wipe the grime off the view hole and please take a closer look. Environmental bandits up to their shenanigans. Crooks disguised as, and then she trails off. I'm sorry. So wipe the grime off the view hole. Are you in a submarine? That's not an expression, Gwen.
Yeah, I have no idea. This song baffled me.
So then we get to the chorus, and the chorus kind of has more of this weird southern country roots. I said it sounded like a Carter Sisters song. We gotta find another way to make the world go round.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. She says, we got to find another way to make the world go round twice in a row, implying that we got to turn things around, do better, etc., etc. But then she says, there's no need to point the finger. We understand who takes the blame. Delinquents caught red-handed in the act. Crooks disguised as you and I. And this is the moment where I started to think, like, wait, you don't want to name names, and you're implying that you might see people that look just like me performing crimes, but they're lookalikes.
Yeah, definitely not me.
Definitely not me. They're crooks disguised as me, and possibly you. Otherwise, like, I don't know what the fuck she's saying. She
Yeah.
goes on. I'm not sure if I like what I'm doing myself. I'm not sure if I like how the world turns. How the world turns? Oh, degradation. Great big word. I'm in violation. Oh, unexcusable exploitation. Exploitation. It's the dawning of a new era. People consciously don't care. How unfair. And this is the moment, Tim, I think we lose her. This is the Harajuku begins. People don't give a shit. I'm just going to take what I want. I don't care if it's wildly offensive. I will wildly co-op an entire culture to the point of parody.
And maybe
And then
some...
play dumb when people point it out.
Yeah, and then splice in some MLK speeches. Done.
Oh my God. And this is from two people that abhor the term cultural appropriation. That's how culture evolves. You take little bits and pieces. However, you don't wholesale steal it and try to be a different race.
Or you do.
Well, yeah, you do. Well, she does. We don't.
Yeah, right. But I feel like Gwendolyn seems to do this a lot. She kind of puts like these really vague, maybe big ideas or concepts into an album where it really just doesn't belong, and then doesn't flesh those ideas out enough. So it's just vague weirdness where you're like, is she trying to say something? Is this a song about environmentalism? Is this like, what is? Doesn't matter, because it's in the end it's not. So
Sure. Track 13. End it on this.
Let's end it on this. Let's end it on this.
Misleading.
yeah, right. I like the weird keys throughout this song.
Yeah, good piano.
But again, it's another goddamn breakup song. And
Yeah.
do we need to?
We do have a running list here at the world headquarters of weird euphemisms for sex. Allow me to add one. You see, it's hard to face the addict that's inside of me. I want to fill my glass up with you constantly. Don't call your vagina a glass.
Or do?
Don't. I knew that was coming. What reasoning could you have?
I don't
It's not
know.
sexy.
It's
Why don't you
not.
come
It sure
fill my
isn't.
glass with a tall glass of OJ.
It's very like brittle, like glass. You
Oh,
know?
see, I thought of more like a wide, like
Yeah,
a
it's wide.
mouth
It's wide
cup.
and it's wide and brittle. Yes.
Brittle's the wrong word. Fragile. Other than that, Tim, that's the only good thing I took from this.
All right. Well, she says it's over a bunch of times. Let's end it on this. It's a breakup song. Kanal did the world a favor, and other than this very show, he will never be recognized for his achievement in musing.
Hashtag Kanal yes. Folks, don't forget the K. Album HatePod on Twitter, HatePod on Instagram. Hashtag Kanal yes. Don't forget the K.
Track number 14, Tragic Kingdom.
Icicles drip from his eyes.
What a weird song.
From T to B, nose to tail, it is strange. We hear what I later learned were theme park noises and a ride announcer at the very beginning before any music. He says, "Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor." And I was like, what the fuck's happening here?
That is, of course,
And-
Jack Wagner, the voice of Disney.
Is it? Where'd you pick up that fun fact?
The internet.
God damn it. I should just do this alone. Gino, have we figured out a way to record our sides separate yet? He's asleep. Okay. Folks, if you were expecting another breakup song, prepare to be surprised. This is about Disney World.
It really is. It's it's Eric Stefani bitching about how he used to like Disneyland and now it's all corporate and shitty.
Yeah, have you ever wondered what it would be like if Andy Rooney wrote a song? Let me tell you why my buttons should only have 3 holes and not 4. Oh, no, please. So this has a very dramatic sound to it. It's performed almost like your whatchamacallit, your Black Parades or your Living Dead Girl.
Oh, sure, yeah. The My Chemical Romance almost.
Yeah, kind of the big stage performance. Very dramatic, they say. Once was a magical place. Over time, it was lost. Price increased the cost. Now the fortune of the kingdom is locked up in its dungeon vaults. Now, mostly this song seems to be that Eric doesn't fully understand how inflation and/or business works, but I am curious, is there a dungeon in Disney? Is there a Disney dungeon?
There is certainly a Disney jail.
Yeah, we know that. We know that.
I mean, I assume that Disney, at least current day, has some sort of Scrooge McDuck vault.
Yeah, that's fair. Life is like a hurricane. Sorry. They pay homage to a king whose dreams are buried in their minds. His tears are frozen stiff. Icicles drip from his eyes.
Is this a reference to Walt Disney having himself cryogenically frozen so he can come back in the future as an ice zombie to eat Jewish children?
Yes.
Okay. Asked and answered.
And your question does answer, or address, I should say, the one note I wrote about this. Let's not just blindly say Walt Disney had nothing but good ideas.
Absolutely.
His most wonderful place on earth was because certain quote-unquote undesirables, aka eaters, weren't there.
Yes.
In our future society, you will be known as an eater. Oh, that's not good.
Nope. The cold wind blows as it snows on those who fight to get in, on heads that are small, disillusioned as they enter. They're unaware what's behind castle walls, but now it's written in stone. The king has been overthrown by jesterly fools, and the power of the people shall come to believe they do rule. What? Was Walt Disney
Yeah.
overthrown?
No.
Okay.
I assume he died of lung cancer. The man was never not smoking.
Oh, if you had that money, you would be too.
Yeah, wait, yeah. Let's see. Then we get to the chorus, which honestly, for the bombastic nature of the song, is really underwhelming. She says, "Welcome to the tragic kingdom. Cornfields of popcorn have yet to spring open." Huh?
I don't know.
Welcome to the tragic kingdom. Cornfields of popcorn have yet to spring open. I don't know. Anyway, the song continues less confusingly. We've all heard their stories one too many times, hypnotized by fireflies that glow in the dark and midgets that disguise themselves as tiny little dwarves. The parade that's electrical, it serves no real purpose, just takes up a lot of juice just to impress us. As Tim pointed out in the history, and I heard for once, these kids grew up in Anaheim and they know several small businesses that were closed because of the Disney expansion in and around the area. And of course, as businesses, especially very wealthy ones, tend to do, they slowly corrupted and bribed government officials to make their business easier to handle.
Yes.
Then we get Welcome to the Tragic Kingdom, as I expertly performed just a moment ago, 14 times in a row. And the music devolves into noise, where I heard both a moment of taps and the Star Wars theme song.
So so are you saying they predicted the Disney acquisition of Star Wars?
Yes.
Oh, all right.
It's really weird. Like you just hear, and then it stops.
Yeah, well, you better stop. We don't have the money to pay for that.
No, you're right. You're right. That might be one note too many.
We'll bleep one of those notes. Don't worry.
Thank you. Fucking House of Mouse is litigious. Okay, Timmy, anything else you want to say about track number 14?
Nope.
Fucking great. Then I can ask you, how did this thing do?
Pretty well. This was certified diamond in the US in 1999. So it has sold at least 10 million copies in the US alone as of 1999.
Wait, I'm sorry. Diamond in 1999?
Yes.
Holy shit.
Yes. It has sold more than 16 million copies worldwide. In the pantheon of all-time best-selling albums, it is nestled right between Troy Brooks's Rope in the Wind and Adele's 25. According to
Rope in the Wind was about masturbating in nature, if I remember
with
correctly.
a rope, yes. According to Wikipedia's interpretation of the US Billboard 200 lists, it was the 22nd best-selling album of the 90s and is the 21st best-selling album of all time by a girl.
Oh, what a funny way to read those statistics.
Yes. It hit number 1 on the Belgian Ultratop Flanders, Belgian Ultratop Wallonia, Canadian, Danish Hitlisten, Finnish Suomen Virallinen Lista, Icelandic Tone Lista, New Zealand RMNZ, Norwegian VG Lista, UK and US Billboard 200 lists. It hit number 3 on the Swiss Schweizer Hit Parade, number 3 on the Swedish Sverigetoplisten, and number 2 on the Dutch. The most interesting one, though, might be its lowest ranking ranking, which was number 71 on the Japanese Oricon album chart. Perhaps she decided to pursue the Japanese because of the performance of this record.
It was a revenge. She was just going to capture them all.
Fair enough.
Fucking great statistics. That's fascinating. So I knew it had done well. I didn't realize it had done that well. If she hadn't done anything else in her entire career, she'd be fucking having caviar dreams and rainbow wishes. But she did so much more in her career.
Yeah, and all thanks to the actions of one Mr. Tony Kanal.
God bless it.
He's a hero.
He is. 9/11, Pearl Harbor, the day Tony Kanal broke up with Gwen Stefani.
I'm sorry,
These
are you saying
moments.
those are all good things that brought us...
No. I'm saying those are tragic days of sacrifice and where heroes emerged.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, out of those tragedies. I'm saying that Pearl Harbor and
I don't want to be
I
associated with this metaphor.
was going to get into like a lot more detail. I think it would have helped. All righty, Tim, that's how it did. What did people think of it?
Well, Garrett, we have a Robert Christgau review, so we can play the Robert Christgau game. Now, for those of you unfamiliar, the Robert Christgau game is where I read a review by noted crazy person Robert Christgau, whose review may or may not have anything to do with the album, and whose grade may or may not have anything to do with the album or his review, and then Garrett tries to get inside of the mind of a crazy person and guess what grade Robert Christgau gave this album. Garrett, ready to play the Robert Christgau game?
Let's dive on in.
Like any pop skyrocket, Gwen Stefani is video-driven, and so hebephrenic, you know she unprotests too much. The production's as busy as the Ivy at lunchtime, too. But the act's real problem is ska. Since the dawn of two-tone, there hasn't been a single band in the style, excluding the punk band Rancid, but including Madness and the Specials, that was as songful as its fun, besotted partisans claim. When the hippity-hop beat is hyped for post-punk consumption, its energy somehow precludes tone. Not that she could sing in the same shower as Cyndi Lauper anyway, but classic Belinda Carlisle is another story. Garrett, based on that review, what does Robert Christgau think of this album?
He gave this album a C+.
Garrett, Robert Christgau gave this album a C+.
Yes! Mind of a crazy person.
Absolutely.
Well, that's what one lunatic thought. What about people on the internet, Tim? Do we have any Amazon and or YouTube reviews?
Well, there are 1,679 total ratings on Amazon, 4.8 out of 5 stars on average, 86% 5-star, 2% 1-star. Nathan PG from 2019 said, "Today Judith and I spun No Doubt's Tragic Kingdom. The date was Friday, April 5th, 1996 in Knoxville, Tennessee. One of my friends had tickets to see Bush, Goo Goo Dolls, and an unnamed band to the south, No Doubt. I remember buying the CD months before the concert so I would be familiar with the songs. When the day finally arrived to go see them, I drove from Chattanooga to my friend's house off exit 374 in Carnes. My friend was never one to joke too much, and when he did, it was really dry. Well, we stopped at a fast food restaurant, and as we were finishing up, he looked at all three of us, and said, 'Oh crap, I forgot the tickets.' Now, we were about 45 minutes away from his house and 30 minutes from showtime. We were
And
all
so far from the end of this review, what is happening?
we were all pissed at him, and then he started to crack up, for he had the tickets in his front pocket.
That's not a prank! Oh,
For our younger listeners, just lying is not a joke. It's just lying.
it's not a joke! God, I'm so angry.
The review continues, "The show is cool. The show is where the Ice Bears play. I remember talking to a girl who, she said she was the owner's daughter, and she snuck us onto the floor where I first ever crowd surfed and slam danced in a huge mosh pit. Yep, no chairs in the front back then. This was the tour that Gavin and Gwen got together. I bought a No Doubt shirt. I think I wore it maybe 2 times because the thing was so rough. 5 out of 5 stars. The fuck is wrong with this guy?
That was insane. Also, I want to learn more about these Ice Bears.
Absolutely. You love hockey, presumably.
I love regional hockey teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, presumably. I can't imagine what else it is. A semi-pro curling team
Oh, Garrett,
in Chattanooga.
Yes, it's got to be hockey.
It's got to be.
One more review. This is from Bam in 2013, who said, "No Doubt is the worst music I have ever heard. I wouldn't waste my money on it if it was the last music in the world. They suck. And if you buy their music, then you are stupid. Seriously, You will regret it if you are dumb enough to actually spend your money on it. 1 out of 5 stars.
Wow. You know, when people say that we're nothing but a bunch of sad sacks and all we do is shit on things people like, no. We provide nuanced critiques and theories about this music. What that guy just did, that's just being a shithead.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, I should say, we have said things like, if you buy this, you're stupid. But that's for things where, like, if you buy it, you're really stupid.
Yeah, this isn't that. That's...
Don't buy Hollywood Undead, you idiot. Talking to you, stupid. Go throw it away.
Yeah.
Anyway, not you, obviously.
Yeah.
You don't have that. Okay, great reviews, Tim, I think. Who's this for?
Middle schoolers who are nervous at dances in the mid to late 90s.
Yeah, I also think, and maybe this is de rigueur to say in 2023, it's more of a girls' album than I expected. Like, more girl power.
Yes, but it's accidental because, again, all that girl power was orchestrated by a man.
Don't tell them that.
Fair enough.
Let's see here. Final thoughts. We've been all the way through it. Has anything dramatically changed for you? Any big standout moments?
I think that No Doubt sucks, and if you buy their music, then you are stupid.
You do not.
Nah, don't. It's the same as before, I think.
Yeah. It's no big revelations. I can say conservatively, there's no reason this couldn't be 11 tracks and be a lot more palatable.
Yeah.
Fucking rule of 11. Anyway, let's get this thing wrapped up, Timmy. Do you hate this album?
No, I don't. What about you, friend? Did you get there? Did I get you there accidentally?
No, I don't hate it.
All right.
I can't. It's certainly not worthy. It's no Attila.
Yeah,
That's the new standard.
It's no Steven Seagal.
Yeah, and it's honestly, we said there's kind of one verse on every song where you're just like, wait, what? And that still doesn't quite get you to hate. If anything, it almost amused me. But, the songs are just the right amount of not complete nonsense. And the music, the production's really good. We should say that. The producer did a great job.
Sure.
With what they've got.
Yeah.
Like, what's the one,
he should have dialed her voice down like an octave.
Yeah, that would have been nice. But I understand. You can't do everything. But also, like, which one is the super popular one where all of a sudden there's a Spanish guitar in the middle?
I don't know.
It's
Just a Girl, Spiderwebs.
I hate you. Anyway, let's finish this. You don't hate it. I don't hate it. Most people don't hate it. That one guy really hates it and thinks if you like it, you're an idiot. But that's going to do it for us. As always, folks, if you can, rate, review, subscribe, follow. I don't know, whatever it is the platform that you use has to let them know that you like it, do that, please. And if you can't figure out how that works or you got a little extra free time, you can open the Apple Podcast app, give us the 5 stars, rate, review, subscribe in there. The 5 stars is most important. If you have a little more time or you're feeling cheeky, you can give us a review. Get as mean as you want to Tim. He thinks it's hilarious, and frankly, so do I. But not me. I would find it very hurtful. Please don't hurt my feelings. I'm very sensitive. But Tim, again, just feel free to pile it on him in those reviews. 5 stars and then get mean. You can also reach out to us, hatePodMail@gmail.com. We want to hear from you. We also are looking for some new theme song submissions. Also, Sam, if you made it this far, don't worry. I am going to reply to you. We're going to get those t-shirt designs wrapped up, and you paid. You can also email us by going to hatepod.com and clicking contact us in the upper left-hand corner. It asks for an email. That's just so we can reply. You can find us on Instagram. That's hatepod. Twitter's album hatepod. I'm G Harvey Tweets on Twitter if you want to just talk to me, and who doesn't? You can also find us. We got Discord servers. We got Reddit subreddits where people talk about the show. Frankly, folks, we're on the fucking internet. If you want to talk to us, just get on there. You'll find us. And if you're really crafty, you'll find the feed. And we encourage you to watch every episode live, large and in charge, full HD color. But you gotta find it. We can't be on YouTube. They don't let people like us on their full video. So we invite you to find the feed. But for this week, for Why I Hate This Album, I have been one of your hosts, Garrett Harvey.
I have been the other, Timothy Richardson, the funny one. And on March 17th, 2013, Garrett Renee Harvey said, "That is a terrifying Hitler." Unclear what he meant. Perhaps he saw a Hitler
funny one?
more terrifying than Hitler. Some sort of super Hitler, perhaps.
Maybe a horse Hitler.
Did you say horse Hitler?
I did. Like a horse Hitler hybrid.
Let's end on that.
There's cowboys running through my dreams. Nothing's quite the way it seems. I joined the Navy, got kicked out in a week. My facial features aren't distinct. try to find some meaning in these songs. The genius is a genius, got it wrong. No, it's a lobster murder sex thing. It's the bleaching of the rear. A full assault on both your ears. The riffs are too repetitive. The lyrics make no sense. All the songs are B-sides. The cover art's a mess. Listen to it for a week. Now that week has passed. It's the Why I Hate This Album podcast with Tim and Garrett.